Quantum Mechanics by Maple is a complete course, contains 38 videos for beginners. During this course, students will be able to use Maple step by step in quantum mechanics. The first video of this series explains mathematical expressions, the second video explains mathematical functions. This video is the third video of this series and explains the key notions and concepts for performing basic computations. The third video of Quantum Mechanics by Maple contains 5 essential questions and their answers to discuss key notions and concepts related to performing basic computations with Maple. The questions and their answers provide basic notions and concepts for starting basic computations with Maple. They are as follows. 1. What are exact or symbolic numbers? 2. What are floating point or numeric numbers? 3. What are symbolic, abstract, or exact quantities? 4. What are floating point or numeric quantities? 5. How can Maple convert symbolic or exact quantities to floating point or numeric quantities? After learning about these questions, we will learn how to use Maple to make simple computation. Now, we are going to find the answers for the questions. The first question is: what are exact or symbolic numbers? In Maple, the numbers such as integers, rationals, pi, exponential 2, and sine 1 are exact or symbolic numbers. The second question is: what are floating point or numeric numbers? In Maple, the numeric approximation of an exact number that contains a decimal point is called floating point or numeric number. Examples for exact or symbolic numbers and numeric or floating point numbers. Exact or symbolic numbers, such as 5/4, the square root of 2, pi, sine 3. Floating point or numeric numbers which are equivalent to these exact or symbolic numbers respectively are 1.250, 1.41421356, 3.14159265, 2.718281828, 0.1411200081. The third question is: what are symbolic, abstract, or exact quantities? In Maple, variables, expressions and functions involving exact numbers are called symbolic, abstract, or exact quantities. The fourth question is: what are floating point or numeric quantities? In Maple, variables, expressions and functions involving floating point or numeric numbers are called floating point or numeric quantities. In other words, floating point or numeric quantities are the numeric approximation of the symbolic, abstract, or exact quantities. Examples for symbolic, abstract, or exact quantities and floating point or numeric quantities. Exact or symbolic, abstract, quantities, such as 5/4 t, the square root of 2, x plus pi, y. Wx, y, equals the square root of 2, x, plus pi, y. Floating point or numeric quantities, which are equivalent to these exact or symbolic quantities, respectively are 1.250 t 1.4142135562 x plus 3.14159265 y wx y equals 1.4142135562 x plus 3.14159265 y. The fifth question is: how can Maple convert symbolic or exact quantities to floating point or numeric quantities? In order to convert symbolic or exact quantities to floating point or numeric quantities in Maple, we can use one of the following methods. 1. Using the approximate context menu operation. 2. Using the evalf command. In addition, expressions or functions involving mixed exact and floating point quantities results in a floating point or numeric computation. In other words, in the presence of a numeric or floating point quantity in an expression or function, Maple generally computes using numeric or floating point computation. In order to illustrate these methods for converting symbolic or exact quantities to floating point or numeric quantities, let's consider some examples in Maple. Example 1. Converting exact quantity 7/5 to numeric quantity 1.4 and 80. The first method, using the approximate from context menu. In the expression palette, click the division item. Replace the parameter placeholder a and b with the numbers 7 and 5. Right-clicking displays a context menu with the options. Choose Approximate from the context menu. From the opening subcontext menu, for example, choose 10. The second method, using the evalf command. In order to use evalf command, just type evalf 7/5 and then click Enter. In the next video, we will discuss more examples about these methods for converting symbolic or exact quantities to floating point or numeric quantities in Maple. Moreover, in the next video, we will mention the types of computations to performing basic computation with Maple.